Hey everyone, it's your favorite political innovator here, David Washington, out in the streets at the John Jackson Community Center here in Orlando. It was one of the polling places for the special election for Senate District 15, vacated by the death of Senator Geraldine Thompson, and House District 40, which was vacated by Representative LaVon Bracy Davis, who ran for the late Senator Thompson's seat. So I'm disappointed. First of all, disappointed with the turnout. Um, Less than 10%. 8.9% is the unofficial turnout numbers. And given that the election was yesterday, September 2nd, 2025, there's really no excuse for turnout to be so low. I mean, seriously, we're used to having elections, our primary elections, towards the end of August. So if the candidates specifically and the parties in general treated this special election as a regular election, primary election during the election cycle, perhaps we would have had earlier turnout. Also, earlier I was talking to one of my business partners, and he's in the district, and he received notification 4 days in advance of the election that there was an election. And yes, it was the holiday weekend. We're talking Labor Day weekend. However, that's not an excuse. So the first issue I have, of course, as I stated, is turnout. Eh, there's really no excuse for less than 10%. There really isn't, unless it's some type of national disaster or state disaster, but then people are rallied. I mean, people rally around the flag, rally around the election, and the parties and the candidates make sure that they get their voters out. Second, the Democrats had an opportunity to not just galvanize their voters here in this particular special election. And granted, the Democratic candidates did win their elections by a rate of 70, 73, 74% to 20, 23, 25% for their Republican challenger. They did well. However, however, this was the opportunity to show that the Democrats are relevant. With 10% of the vote, no one cares. No one knows. No one knew that there was election. No one knows about your candidate. And, although people we elect may look like us, they may not be in our own best interest. And I'm not saying that about Senator-elect Bracy Davis or Representative-elect Rashawn Young. I'm just saying that there's some in the political space who take for granted the fact that there's a large demographic that they lean on time and time again that helps them get elected, whether it's seniors, whether it's white seniors, whether it's black seniors, whether it's young voters or young Republican voters or young Democratic voters. We've got to move past that and engage our voters, our constituents, our citizens, our residents, and let them know that their involvement in the civic process is incredibly important. Because what happened yesterday is unforgivable. This was an opportunity for Democrats to run up the numbers. I mean, really run up the numbers and show that they're organized, that they're ready for the city elections here in Orlando later this year. The midterm elections is never too soon. It's never too soon. It's always too late because you can never put more time on the clock. Third, for the Republicans, abysmal. There's a lot of Republicans in this district, and the Republicans had an opportunity. The candidates, Willie Montague on the Senate side and Tuan Lee on the Democrat side, I'm sorry, on the Republican side in the House district race, failed to have a persuasive voice to encourage, to offer enthusiasm for their voters, for like minded Democrats, for non party affiliated voters to look at the current circumstances of the Democrats being in the super minority in the state legislature and say to them, hey, aren't you tired of being left out of the conversation, being kept away from the table, being inconsequential, irrelevant? Don't you want to be at the table? Don't you want to be part of the conversation? Don't you want to bring back the spoils of war? So, all around, as a political, as someone who does this 24/7, 365, and who has been watching this election very closely, you can't run a campaign on social media. You just can't. And you have to realize that your voters, yeah, they're on their devices, but they're also on their front doors. But when you get there at their front doors, when you send messages onto their devices, whether it's social media or text messages or digital canvassing, you gotta have a message ready at the door on their devices that's gonna motivate them to come out and vote for you. Otherwise, why are you running? Seriously, with the greatest respect, Willie Montague, Twan Lee, retired from politics. The two of you are perennial candidates, and you had an opportunity to make yourselves more relevant. The numbers say differently. So, again, if you like what you hear or if you don't like what you hear, please feel free to comment. I am no stranger to comments and replying to the comments. I love to hear what you have to say based on facts and not your feelings. Okay? So, please share with those friends, family members, those influencers that you know, those candidates and those electeds that you think could benefit from this content. Please share with them and let them know what we're all about, and that we just want the best people with the best ideas representing their communities with their kitchen table issues. Again, I'm David Washington of the Jay Washington Network here in Orlando. We'll see you the next time. God bless. Love you all. Out of here.